right, welcome back. It seems like Tyler's camera is already. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, your
Welcome back,
camera's going
everyone.
in and out again, dude. We're starting off hot. What the heck's the deal here? Hmm, that is so weird. Why is your camera doing that? All right, do we test the brake scene while we try to figure this out?
Yeah,
All right, I'm
yeah.
gonna test the brake scene. I'll be right back. Hold on,
Oh, it's just
everybody.
my camera's on like a loop.
I think we're good. I think we fixed it.
Are
All
we
right,
back?
welcome back, everybody.
All right.
Apologize if I'm not sounding great. I've been sick for the past 3 days, so we're gonna do it anyway. We're not gonna. We don't stop for
Ah,
anything.
we're on a schedule.
Well, I guess certain things I'm sure we would stop for, but me being sick is not one of them. I'm on the mend, so
Luke is
welcome back to the
sick. My
show.
camera doesn't work.
Yeah, welcome
What?
back to the show. Started off hot with technical difficulties, but if you're tuning in, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Love to have you. I think we got a pretty good show for tonight. Uh,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Ton of stuff
everything,
going on.
so much stuff happens. We try to make this plan. We throw in the topics that we think we want to talk about, and a bunch of stuff just piles on. So, plenty to talk about, plenty going on. If you got questions or anything during the show, just throw them in the chat. We won't be reading the chat the entire time, but we'll try to get any questions that pop up. So,
I have it pulled up, so if someone types something in there, I'll
okay,
see it.
sweet. No, not again, Tyler with the camera. Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's his fault. I think that's my fault because I'm capturing Tyler's camera. So I don't know. It is what it is at this point. We're gonna get a better setup at some point, but we're bare bones right now. We're working
Yep.
with whatever we got. So do you wanna kick it off with our first topic here?
Yeah, sure. Let's continue to the trend with the previous couple episodes. We can go over a little recap of the current peace treaty and how that's going.
Oh man, it always goes back to this. I, 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 I don't want people to think that I'm just crazy. That like all I care about is Israel. I'm just using it as a talking point for clickbait to get views. I mean, that's not the case. It's just the fact that it's taking up so much airtime everywhere. It's like the hottest topic
It's
these
the hot
days
topic, yeah.
of the world. It affects the world in more ways than just the Middle East, right? It just in the way that you
Oh
see.
no, look at what's going on. Look even domestically. I mean the protests,
Hmm.
you can't go on social media without seeing it's everywhere.
I think it's really. I mean, it's terrible what has happened on both sides of this conflict, but I think what it has done is kind of shown and shined a light on politicians and where their loyalties lie. Like before this wasn't even a question of like whether or not you have dual loyalty with the United States and some foreign nation, or if you're like a dual citizen. That wasn't really as much of a question as it is now, and now we have kind of a movement, really, with young people in particular, saying if you don't like swear your loyalty to the United States only, we don't want to vote for you. And I think that's great. Like I think if you have dual loyalty, you're committing treason realistically. Um, so I think that's
Yeah.
uncovered a lot of those politicians that really don't have America's best interests at heart, don't have their constituents' interests at heart, and they just take the lobby money and do
Listen,
whatever they want.
I think you can be loyal and you can support another country, but it goes back to the whole America first. I mean, America, from what I'm seeing, America is no longer first.
Yeah, I
And
think
and regardless of your support for another country, if you live in America and you should support it.
We're at a weird time where I guess the MAGA movement has kind of been a huge thing for the past 10 years. Something that the president invented, right? And he ran on like I watched a little bit of Tucker's most recent show, and he was talking about like the pillars of MAGA and how it was like America first, no new wars, revitalizing the economy, um, illegal immigration, really like stopping illegal immigration, and like yeah,
It
some
was
of
about
those,
making America great again.
yeah, I mean, and some of those pillars have remained, but it's also like some of the biggest, I would say, actors that have kind of co-opted the movement now. Like you have Ted Cruz, right? You have Lindsey Graham, um, like Mark Levin. Granted, he's not a politician; he's not in government, but he's a huge voice on the conservative right, and big voice on Fox News. They kind of co-opted the movement to say, well, we need to kind of be the hegemon of the world and like spread democracy everywhere. I mean,
Ironically, it was a
that's
good
just
portion of
not.
the 2016 Republican Party.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people that at the time denounced Trump and said that he was not right for the country are now falling in line and supporting them. Right, like Ted Cruz ran against Trump in 2016. It was a huge. It was a packed Republican field, right? It was I
Hmm.
think it was 17 candidates. So, and now you have these people that I mean, even people that once claimed he was Hitlerian, J.D. Vance, for example. I'm not exactly lumping him in with the same group that I would lump Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham into, but um, in the past, these people have just like and Marco Rubio too. I want to throw him in there because
That was Marco
in the
Rubio. Rand
past,
Paul
him and
has
Trump
had some
have
stuff.
gone back and forth a lot and fought on things. And I think that Trump used to have more of an actual America first minded approach when it comes to
I
like
think that's what
military
won him
action, I
his
guess.
presidency. Yeah, I think that's what won him his presidency.
Yeah, I mean, people
His
don't want
America
new
first
wars.
mentality.
People
Yeah.
want they don't want a globalist economy. They want a country that can produce and have stability, allow their wages to continually increase over time, be able to afford a house, be able to afford the basic necessities to survive. And I don't think he's necessarily gotten away from that idea, but I think that people within his administration or are talking in his ear. I mean, he's kind of like he's a boomer, so he's part of the generation. He's probably not reading too much of the independent media. He's probably getting most of his information from mainstream media, like watching Fox News, and from what his administration tells him.
Sure.
Which, there's a lot of people like that just aren't really doing their own research. And not that he necessarily has the time, right? He's got a lot going on, right? But
He's president.
I think that he's kind of, and I this happened in his last administration. He just the picks for the administration, the cabinet, they just weren't good. Last week we talked about John Bolton. Um,
Any update on that? I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard anything. I think it's. I was listening to somebody's show and they were making the claim that like long term, it's probably not going to happen that John Bolton's going to like see prison time, and if he does, it's going to be way down the road, and it's really just like a smear campaign against him for the wrong, like a revenge kind of campaign because like he's going to be publicly shamed. He's going to like have to pay a ton of money for lawyers. Like it's not really the fact that the charges against him is what they're trying to make it all
Hey,
about. It's really just the punishment of having to go through the process.
did you see? I don't know how real this is, and I didn't look into it any further, but I saw some whispers about Trump potentially pardoning Diddy.
Yeah, I know TMZ reported that, and I posted that on my Twitter,
Yeah.
and some bot came after me and was like, "Oh, this is fake news." And I was like, I mean, maybe, but he did say that Diddy came to him requesting a pardon. That doesn't mean that necessarily that Trump is considering
He's
pardoning
gonna
him, but
grant it. Yeah.
he did the way that he reacted when he was asked the question of whether or not he'd pardon Ghislaine Maxwell was not exactly the kind of answer that we'd want to see or that we'd want to hear.
I also don't know that I would have brought that up.
I'm gonna fix my camera
You
a little
know,
bit. I just gonna tilt it up. No,
sure.
I
I
wouldn't
don't know
either.
that I would have brought that up.
No, I mean, and maybe you're a reporter just looking for like a gotcha question and be like, oh, but that
Yeah.
shouldn't be a gotcha question. Like you should not. There should not be a consideration to pardon Jeffrey Epstein's partner in crime. They're arguably the biggest blackmail, sex ring, prostitution, pedophilia scandal of world history. I mean, I think that would be an easy time to say, no, it's obvious. Why would I even consider that?
Yeah.
But instead he said, we're gonna like see what the Department of Justice has. We're gonna speak to the Department of Justice. I just think that's a kind of a shitty answer, but
Mm-hmm.
who knows? I don't know, man. You
Yeah.
wanna? What was even the first topic? What were we talking about?
We were gonna go through the peace treaty a little bit. It kind of turned into
okay.
a Trump ramble,
So
but
there's been a lot going on with the peace treaty. So there's a story. This happened last week. So this story was on October 19th. That Israel blew up. I believe it was a bus with 11 family members inside. So I guess they had fired multiple warning shots, and then whatever. These people were trying to inspect their home, is what happened, and the IDF fired warning shots at them to not continue on the path that they were going on, and then I guess they continued on the path, and they're like, well, we'll just blow up the bus, right? Most moral army in the world. And then, of course, there's been claims on both sides. And it's definitely gotten worse. I think Israel has killed over 85 people since the ceasefire actually started. Palestinian civilians they've killed. They can make the claim that they're Hamas, right? But I think
yeah, and then there was the landmine incident, right?
Yeah, the bomb incident, right? And I have a picture
Bomb
of it
incident,
here.
yeah.
I want to see if I can pull up if I can pull it up. I think it's important because Israel claimed that Hamas violated the ceasefire. But I mean, who actually knows? And are we actually going to believe that story? So, see if this actually loads up. So, Dropsite News reported, and they're independent journalists, so they don't really have a stake in either side necessarily. So they reported that U.S. officials knew within hours that the explosion in Rafah, which Israel claimed was Hamas firing an RPG at IDF soldiers. The Rafah explosion, which Netanyahu used to justify halting all aid into Gaza and resuming airstrikes, which was actually caused by an Israeli settler bulldozer running over unexploded ordnance, not a Hamas tunnel attack. Despite that, Netanyahu blamed Hamas, suspended aid, and ordered new bombings. After Washington told Israel it knew the truth, Netanyahu quietly announced he would reopen the crossings in a few hours. And then, I have another article here. I don't know if it'll load necessarily, but so then
it's just like they're
switching right to
itching
this
for the
article,
war to start
right?
again.
What's that?
It's just like they're itching to start this war again.
I mean, in the far right members of the Knesset want this war to continue. They never wanted to stop at all. It's not everyone in their Israeli parliament,
no.
but it is a good portion of at least those on the far right. So this article, Israel says ceasefire and aid to resume after airstrikes killed 26 in Gaza. So they said that the aid would resume. I mean, I haven't necessarily seen that the aid has resumed, and they've been killing people every day. It's not the same as actually during the war, right? Now they're killing like a few dozen people a day, versus during the war when they could kill up to 100 people a day. Well, during the war, as if it's actually over. I don't think it's actually over, but
I think it's kind of interesting too, and this is somewhat off topic, but I'm gonna relate it. Is the Trump urging Zelensky to take the peace deal with Russia, and it's kind of, I just feel like that war was kind of, it's been swept under the rug a little bit.
Yeah.
And now that Israel's breaking the peace deal, suddenly we start to see Russia-Ukraine stuff again. Maybe it's a pure coincidence.
I mean, I think that definitely was a big meeting. Zelensky coming to the White House this past weekend.
Hmm.
And the reporting said that Trump was pretty harsh on Zelensky, saying that like you can't win and that like you have to cede territory to Russia. Like you can't just say like we're not going to give anything. And then I believe that Russia proposed that they would
Cede some
like cede
territory to
yes they
Ukraine.
would cede some of the
Yeah.
territory that they have gained back to Ukraine if Ukraine would let them keep Luhansk and um,
Yep.
Donetsk, I believe. I think I have the article up.
It, from what I read, it seemed like
Oh
a
yeah,
fairly
okay, here it
reasonable
is.
deal.
So I mean, so when I spoke on the phone on Thursday, well actually, so Putin made a new offer to Trump, which is what we were talking about, ceding territory, proposing that Ukraine cede the Donbass in exchange for Russia ceding small parts of Kherson and Zaporizhia. I don't know how to say that, but um, and then Ukraine ceding that, Russia would be like, okay, like that's enough. We can end this now. But as we've heard from Zelensky in the past, he doesn't want to cede anything. He does not believe that they should give anything up. Um, he believes that
Which is
with
bold to say in a war you're not going to win.
well, yeah, but he and the problem is that recently Trump went. I think it was because he just didn't like that Putin wasn't doing just I don't know responding to the bullying and saying okay we'll do exactly what you the United States wants. He kind of saying no we're gonna be strong here and not just let you bully us necessarily. And he said that I think Ukraine can win this war. And then I mean we've throughout the last 9-10 months, the Trump administration has been providing Ukraine with weapons. I mean, or at least providing them the opportunity to buy them. Right? Not it's
Hmm.
not the same as it was under Biden, but we are still providing them intelligence support at the very least. And um, the United States just removed sanctions on Ukraine to allow them to strike deep into Russia, and the United States will be providing the intelligence on that. That is a
Hmm.
severe escalation. Like you want to that's I don't really see how that's much different than the proxy war that we're fighting now and just supplying them weapons, but giving them intelligence and the go ahead to strike deep inside arguably the second most powerful country on the planet. That
Bold.
isn't that's bold. And I don't really like what do we hope to gain from this? At what point is enough enough?
It's a great question.
Like I think that he wants peace, but I think that he's the people that he's got in his ear are just not the right people. They don't actually want to stop this thing.
He's just going about it the wrong way. If
Yeah,
peace is truly his goal.
yeah. It sucks, man. Like all the people that are dying in that war. I mean, all the people that are dying in any war, right? It sucks, but
Yeah.
the fact that you're telling for a while it was like Russia's been consistently taking small amounts of territory for a while, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden you tell Ukraine, okay, you can win this, and you can win this with our help. That's not helpful, and that just gives them the motivation to not want
No, it's
peace.
fuel. It's
Yeah,
fuel.
why would Zelensky want peace if you tell him that you can win? And like I said
You
in the
know,
last episode, there's the identitarian National Socialist that is like second or third in line to become the next president of Ukraine, and the United States is supporting that.
and you know the other thing I don't get is I feel like Trump has worked to somewhat, I don't know if repair is the word, but to better the relationship with Russia.
Yeah, I think in the last administration he really kind of created a really good relationship with Russia, with North Korea as well. I don't think he's
And
really
North
fallen
Korea, yeah.
out of a relationship with North Korea, but
But I
with
just don't
Russia
know how
definitely.
you can't play both sides here. You
Yeah,
can't.
I mean, I think um, Kamala going to the NATO Security Conference, I believe it was in 2021 that she went there, and saying, "Okay, Ukraine, we're gonna like allow you to join NATO." That was the red line for Russia. It's not really a surprise that after that they were like, "Okay, NATO wants to add Ukraine," although they have said they agreed with us verbally when the Soviet Union fell that they would not continue to expand east, and they did. Not just It's not just Ukraine. There were many other countries that were added to NATO that
Mm.
realistically violated what Russia said was their red line. But Ukraine is like, I don't know. That's like the border of Russia, right? So
Yeah.
and there were proposals. I believe it was in the Clinton and maybe as also the Bush administration to like try and get Russia to join NATO. And of course, the
Really?
neocons didn't want that to happen because how does that benefit the military-industrial complex? You got your hands in the pockets of all these defense contractors. You're not getting lobby money from them if
Sure.
you're not stoking the flames of this huge power.
Unfortunately, people profit from war.
That's probably one of the most profitable acts ever. Honestly, I mean, we
Yeah.
spent $8 trillion in the past 20 or more years in the Middle East.
Mm.
So I don't. I think it's just like what. How does this help us? How does this help America? It doesn't. It doesn't help us at all. We're making relations with Russia worse at the expense of not giving Ukraine. Realistically, the numbers don't lie. They cannot win. Russia's just going to keep. It's going to be a war of attrition. Russia's just going to keep throwing more men at it. And then,
Yeah. I mean, they have the numbers.
yeah. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't necessarily think that Trump doesn't want peace, but I think that whoever's in his ear is just not being helpful to the long-term situation. I don't know. I know that the European NATO countries are still supplying weapons too. I don't know. Time will tell, but
Sure.
I hope that Trump kind of fixes his messaging and stops telling Ukraine that they can win. It's just not realistic. That's not helping the peace process either. If you're telling Ukraine, Russia knows you're telling Ukraine that they can win. Why would Russia be like, okay, you told Ukraine that they
Yeah,
can
like I'll
win,
show
you
him.
want to come to the table now? No, that makes no sense.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. You want to talk a little Venezuela?
Yeah, Venezuela's a big one. So a lot more has happened with Venezuela. I believe that the United States bombed another boat. Maybe I think it was just one more since last week's episode.
Yeah, the crazy thing is they're posting the footage.
Yeah, I actually kind of I want to pull it up, see if I can pull it up.
Sure.
I know Hegseth posted it.
Mm.
I looked at it earlier. I was like,
While we're on this topic, have you seen any of the like the Homeland Security or Border Patrol edits? They're literally like making clips.
oh, I know. It's like, and I mean, you see the stuff that the White House posts, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Let's pull this up.
Wait, hold on. What does the title say?
The title of what?
This video. Does it say alleged?
It says, today at the direction of President Trump, the Department of War carried out yet another lethal kinetic strike on a vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization. Yet again, the now deceased terrorists were engaged in narco trafficking in the Eastern Pacific.
Okay.
The vessel was known by our intelligence to be involved. Alright, let's see if I can show this video. Alright, here we go. I don't know if there's actually sound, but it's very choppy. It's not my stream, but there you go. boat exploded.
Wiped out.
Yeah. And this kind of takes us to some other related topics, like, um, so first of all, I don't believe it was this strike, but in past strikes, Trinidad and Tobago has claimed that two of their citizens, who were allegedly fishermen, were killed by the United States. Um, I have
Yeah,
the
now I see both sides of this. I see the one side of the US potentially having evidence that these were drug boats, and if so, I mean, no better scare tactic to stop drug traffickers from transporting across those waters. But on the other side, you know, you could have Trinidad coming out and saying, these were innocents, these were fishermen, in an attempt to, I guess, discredit the US military. I mean, if it's true, that sucks. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Like if you're Trinidad and Tobago, you could just, and maybe they have drug interests in the region. I don't really know, but I know I
Yeah.
watched a video about the it was a short documentary about fishermen in Trinidad and Tobago, and they were saying how scared they are to go out every day and fish because they think that they're going
Mhm.
to be mistaken for a narco boat and get blown up. So now these people are like risking their lives every single day because the boats look the same. They're just like a skiff with multiple engines on the back.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I read something that they were staying close to shore, going further east, I
yeah.
think it was.
And I want to, so in this clip, let's see if it actually pull up. You can see this looks like what would be like drug containers, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, I guess that's some sort of evidence, maybe. I
Can
mean,
you go can you go back to the boat itself?
that's really all we can see.
Yeah,
And
I guess you,
and
you can't
right
really.
here, right here, they blurred out whatever kind of cargo there was. So like, I'm not claiming that the administration could have like tampered with the video footage. I don't, not that's not what I'm claiming, but we don't really actually see until the
That
end
that
when
may
they.
have also been people that they were blurring out.
That's true. Yeah, and then it just flips to this image of a
I
bunch of
just
debris in the water.
all right, call
So
me a skeptic, and I'm not coming to any conclusions here, but that I don't know how you get from that boat to that pile of rubble in the water, unless it was just the only thing that floated, maybe.
well, if it's, I don't know, depends on the type of drug, I guess, but likely less dense
Yeah, but
than
look at
water.
that.
Well, I
Look
don't
at that
know,
boat
not
though. The boat's
necessarily. If it's,
completely in flames.
and then yeah, they just flip right to that camera.
It's complete. Look at that. You're gonna tell me anything survived on that boat?
I mean,
As anything survived as intact as that cargo, whatever it be?
look, I'm not a narco runner, but maybe they have a compartment on the boat that's kind of protected.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, right? If you're a narco boat and you're protected from like, it's like if a drone could not see what kind of cargo you're carrying, and where's the evidence that, like, I guess it doesn't really add up. You have this pile of debris that looks like bricks of some sort of drug, I would assume, wrapped in duct tape. But like we know that the administration wants regime change in Venezuela. It's not even a secret. Trump authorized the CIA to do covert action in Venezuela. There's a $50
Mhm.
million reward on the head of the president. We've removed He's removed a special envoy from diplomatic negotiations with the country. Although they allegedly offered us an amazing oil and mineral deal, but and now we're in a battle with Colombia, really like a rhetoric battle. So Trump stopped all aid to Colombia because the president Gustavo Petro is critical of him for the strikes. And Colombia also claims that one of their fishermen was killed in a previous strike as well.
And then a
So
day later, Trump came out and was calling Pedro a narco terrorist himself.
yeah, so I will say, Colombia being the country that actually produces a huge amount of the drugs that are coming to the United States,
It's more likely.
it's more
Yeah.
likely that it's Colombia. And I mean, I don't really know how much control the president of Colombia has over any sort of cartels or um, drug producing operations in the country, but
Hey, we got a couple of comments on Venezuela if you want to go through those really quick.
Venezuela isn't controlled by a global central bank. Coincidence? I think not. I mean, yeah, Colombia has definitely gone through its fair share of financial ruin in the past, and their currency was like basically devalued. I mean, we're on the same path, I'd say, in the United States, but we just saw gold go up 50% in the past like 10 months. It went up to 4,300. It's fallen off to like 4,100 now. I think some people are like, this is the high point. I'm gonna sell. So we got a little bit of a sell off there, but that's
Like a stock.
that's kind of a sign. Gold is rocketing. So, and if we keep doing
I
all
mean,
these
it's like the
foreign
one shore
wars, like,
investment.
what's that?
It's like the one shore investment.
Yeah, I mean, precious metals, gold and silver. The United States is in a silver shortage, and we're gonna need so much silver to continue building these massive AI plants. I guess you would call them AI infrastructure. You need so much silver.
Mm.
So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think I don't. I know that the end goal in Venezuela is regime change. They want Maduro out. They want what was their name? Maria Machado, I think.
That sounds right.
I don't know how this benefits us. I think this is stupid. Don't I
What are your
don't I don't
What are your
support
thoughts on
this.
the boat strikes? Yeah, I mean, do you think we should keep doing it?
Uh, what did I just do? No, I don't. I think that unless the administration or the military provides some sort of evidence to Congress, what stops them from doing this off the coast anywhere, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily. It's international waters, I guess you could say. That's Are you gonna just see
I you know
anybody in a four-engine boat like that and be like, yeah, heading towards the United States, they could be hauling drugs, blow them up.
I just don't get how they get away with it. Isn't there a process for stuff like
Well,
this?
I mean, we live in a society that's supposed to have like a right to a fair trial, and guilty or innocent until proven guilty. Not like these people aren't citizens of the
I
United
mean,
States per se,
yeah, I
but
was gonna say. I guess that's a domestic. That's a
still, like that's just you can stretch that to its limits and just I don't know, commit military action on any country and just claim that they're doing something that's affecting the United States. Just
yeah.
just a complete lie. I'm not claiming that they're lying, but until they provide the evidence to Congress, because Congress constitutionally, you need approval from Congress to pursue military action against the foreign country.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't happened since World War II, so I don't know. I don't think if it continues like this, I'm going to continue to say this is bad. And this is putting us in a situation that we don't want to be in. Going to turn into Vietnam Part 2 jungle warfare. And I think we underestimate the power of Venezuela. Not that they're a strong country militarily, but we thought we were
Home
going
field
to take
advantage.
yeah, we thought we were going to take Vietnam like it was nothing. It's their home turf. And then if Colombia gets involved, right? So we're talking about, and what if Colombia all of a sudden decides to ally with Venezuela against the United States, right? Then this could literally turn into like a world war. Because at this time, Russia and Iran are really like economic allies of Venezuela, and that could turn into like a military ally if the United States goes to war. And with all this stuff going on with Ukraine, Russia, United States is kind of just like poking and prodding at everyone to try and see if we can start something. It seems. I think this is just stupid.
Hmm.
Trump ran in 2016 on no new wars, and what are we doing? We're trying to start a war. This is not America first. This is the exact opposite.
Hey, but we're gonna start. What is it? Buying some beef.
Yeah, and then yeah, this kind of transitions to another thing in South America. We had last week we talked about the $40 billion loan. We'll see if they pay us back. Loan to Argentina to support their soybean production, and now we're talking about reducing the price of U.S. grown beef by buying beef from Argentina. Meanwhile, U.S. farmers are struggling. U.S. ranch the cattle population has been on a decline for years. Fertilizer prices have skyrocketed. Feed has skyrocketed. It's just
And
not
what did we
affordable
talk about last
anymore.
week? Was it soybeans? Is that what?
Yeah, that was the bailout for Argentina was mostly soybean production, and that hurts U.S.
Hmm.
farmers as well. And this
Yeah.
would hurt U.S. ranchers. So like, um, I know one of the big problems for United States farmers or ranchers is screwworm. That's something that's really I don't know too much about it. I just know that's something that is like really bad for the cattle population. I mean, and there's also I know that Thomas Massey is trying to push the the like the Prime Act and push an act for mandatory country of origin labeling, so that like the beef that you buy at the store it says where it's from. So if like you have beef that's like grown and harvested in the United States, you can buy that over something that's like grown in Australia. It's like
Argentina.
mandatory right on the front, so you don't have to go searching for it.
Yep.
And just buy American beef. Don't what if you can afford it,
Uh,
buy American beef.
buy
These
American anything.
yeah, buy American anything if you can help it. I know that economically as a country we're struggling,
Yeah.
but it's not. Your politicians are
Well, I
selling
mean,
you out to any foreign nation that they can, at the expense of our tax dollars.
I know we're a little late to the party, but I mean, we can talk about tariffs a bit.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of this week there was some market took a little bit of a hit. I think that Trump announced like another tariff hike on China. It's probably the reason.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is I think maybe in the long term these tariffs are going to work out, but short term they've hurt business more than help it because buying international is still cheaper than buying domestic even with the tariffs.
Yeah, it's like at what I really going into this I really understood like the premise behind tariffs and the idea of it. You know, if
Mhm.
you make something that we typically buy from a foreign country far more expensive, then it will influence and encourage businesses to grow their domestic capability.
It just
And
it increases increases GDP. It hypothetically should just build the domestic economy.
and yeah, we have had hundreds of billions of dollars coming in from tariffs, but people are also paying more for goods. So it's like
I
a
don't think it I don't think it as much, or maybe it's equally as much bringing money in through the tariffs, but I also think it's just an encouragement to purchase domestic products. It's really encouragement to not have to pay the tariffs.
yeah, and I think that's goes into the country of origin labeling for all of not just beef, but I think for so many products. If it said if it was if it was mandatory for like everything to say where it was from like right on the front, I would be so much more encouraged to buy things made in the USA. And granted, I don't really eat much processed food now, so I think most of the stuff I'm buying is uh, produced in the USA.
Support your local farms.
Yeah, definitely support your local farms. Support American. You don't need to buy Argentine beef. They're shipping it over in a frozen on a huge ship. containers. Like
And maybe that
this
ship
is just
gets wiped
stupid.
out for being
This
a drug smuggling ship. You never know.
Yeah, I know. And I don't understand any money that we're giving to Argentina. Like I said last episode, why not just invest that in the United States production capability? Why don't you
Well,
support US farmers and make it so that farmers can sell their beef and not have to wait 2 years for the USDA to approve the legal sale of their meats?
well, not just meat. Why are we giving so much money away to any foreign country and not putting what we need to into our own?
We do like devil's advocate. I'm sure they think there's going to be some sort of economic kickback from any overseas action, whether it's economic action, bailouts, or military action. I don't really see the evidence isn't there for me. I don't see that.
At some point, debt gets so high it's impossible to pay back.
Yeah. Do you think that like any of the cities in America are doing better because we're selling out to foreign nations? No. I would say overall America's doing worse. But we have been getting worse for a good amount of time. And it's like up to our generation to be the ones to
Yeah.
kind of turn it around and stop this boomer mindset of use the country at your will and not give anything back.
I mean, it's not to say it hasn't all been Trump. Like I'm not putting the blame
No,
on him. This has
no.
been going on for, I mean, our entire lifetime.
Yeah, and I think
When
it
when would you say was the last time that the country was thriving? I mean, maybe it wasn't in our lifetime, but
I it's hard for me to
late
really
1900s?
before the United States removed the gold standard, probably. I would actually say that that's correct. Our currency has no backing, and since Nixon removed the gold standard, it's just inflation, inflation, inflation. You're fighting it every year.
Yeah, I mean, go play with an online inflation calculator and go see what your salary right now would be in the
I
early
really want
1900s.
them to do that audit of Fort Knox. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
Mm.
that would just turn things completely upside down. And I think I because we were I was
So-
talking
Someone
last
said,
night, and was there a comment?
yeah, someone said doesn't seem like America first.
No, and I think someone pulled up an estimate of the amount of gold that was in, like, suspected to be in Fort Knox was like $400 billion. I don't know if that's true. Someone fact check me on that. But if that's the case, it's over. How much of our fiat currency do we have in circulation? If we were to go now and say back this by gold to the actual dollar amount, our currency is like virtually worthless.
Hmm.
And I don't like at some point there will be a collapse, and we're seeing signs of collapse. We're
You
just
think?
like
You
we
think?
focus on the stock market, like boom and gloom, right?
Yeah. Do you think
So,
crypto has any future?
I hope so. I have some money in crypto, not a lot, but I think that,
Yeah.
and I think it's kind of curious that, like, yes, it seems like it's kind of just like a fake currency and it's invented, but it is it's a finite currency. You can't just like print more like you can the U.S. dollar. It has to be
Hmm.
mined by an extremely powerful system that takes a large amount of energy, unlike the mint that can just continue to print bills at will, and banks that can just continue to make money out of thin air. Don't get me into the central banks, but um,
I
I hope the
I'm
crypto. I mean,
still.
Bitcoin is
I
like
also have.
so expensive. Like buying one Bitcoin now is like, what's the use? But
Well, I think that's going to be the problem, and I have also a little bit in crypto, but I'm still torn on it
yeah, I
because on
mean,
one hand
we
it,
don't
it
know.
seems like a yeah, on one hand it seems to be a little more sure than the dollar. On the other hand, I don't know if I like the idea of, I mean, it's really money that doesn't exist, like you said.
I mean, okay, but at the same time, do the dollar amount that you have in your bank, does that actually exist? No, the bank has loaned that money out, and it
Very true.
really is. If you went to the bank and demanded all the money in your account, they'd say no.
No, they'd probably say yes. I don't have that much,
Oh,
but
okay.
I get you. I get your
But
point.
if you take a certain amount, if you request to take a certain amount out, like the federal government is notified,
Yeah.
which is insane. Like, at what point do you? This is like a
I mean, it's
consideration
not
of
even yours.
mine,
You don't even own it.
right? Like, yeah, what I get 1% interest back on my money, but like, there's a part of me that wants to. And granted, I need to do more research to like pull out of the standard banking system, but I think at some point I'm probably gonna pull out of the standard banking system, because at what point you're gonna need quick access to all your money, and you're gonna be like, well, go to the bank. Everybody's going to the bank. You won't give everybody their money. They don't have it. There's a
I mean, there's been
severe
movies about
financial,
it.
yeah, and severe financial collapse. It's chaos, and you have nothing. So it's just a consideration to make.
Hmm.
Not to be super gloomy about like apocalyptic events, but just saying in terms of economic collapse, which we have seen before, multiple times in the United States. The last one was not too long ago.
Yep.
Um, our government knows it, and why they made the Fed crypto reserve. I can't really decode. Is that a question?
No,
Uh,
no. I think that was a statement to us talking about crypto being the future.
why trust the banks when they need to be bailed out? Yeah, seriously. Just don't trust the banks. It's as simple as that. They
Yeah.
take your money and really just double it out of thin air.
Don't trust the government.
Yeah, don't trust the government. Don't trust the banks. I'm itching my nose so much. It looks like I'm doing something suspicious, but I promise you, I'm sick. um,
He was taking a delivery from one of those. He was supposed to take a delivery from one of those Venezuelan boats.
oh, I know. They didn't come. They got bombed.
He's itching.
I think YouTube would actually ban me for making the joke about
Ah,
that.
yeah.
That's okay. We'll see. I
See,
don't.
this is what I mean. We were gonna stream to YouTube,
Yeah,
and I was like,
I'm
maybe
trying
we
to
want to
figure
just.
out a plug-in so I can stream to multiple services, but I couldn't do it in the short time we had to set up for this. So next week I'll see if I can get that going. But it was more complicated than I figured it would be.
Hey, on the bright side, we're gonna get a new ballroom. Um, the White House.
We are,
Oh,
yeah,
there it is.
the $250 million ballroom funded by the president and not by your tax dollars. So that's could be
That's nice.
relieving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if this shows. Okay, it's not gonna show, but I do want to show this.
I've seen so many people outraged
So
about
just
this,
here's
and it's like,
just an image of, oh my God, ad. $250 million ballroom Trump's adding to the White House. I don't know if there's any more pictures in this article. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I'm. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's breaking news? Do you think it's crazy?
no, I'm impartial about it. You know, every president has made some alteration to the White House, be minor or something like this, but you know, forgot what it was. I know Obama put in basketball courts, but it's whatever, you know.
Yeah, I think a good question though. Was Obama's funded by him or was it funded by our tax dollars?
That I don't know. I'm gonna go with
Somebody
tax
in the chat
dollars,
want to
but
look up whether or not Obama paid for his White House renovations out of pocket or if we paid for it.
maybe I'm
I
making
was
this up,
not
but
a
weren't the
tax-paying person then, but by
weren't
we
the
I
East
mean the
and the
people.
West Wing added after the fact?
I don't know. I don't keep up with the
I don't.
renovations. I'm
Yeah,
I don't really
but
care what
anyway,
he
yeah.
does.
It
I don't think it's a big story.
right.
I think that's just Trump derangement syndrome. Find a reason to hate the man.
Oh, we got a question. Thoughts on the No Kings protests going on?
Um,
I mean, I think some of the clips are hilarious. I mean, I've been seeing. Well,
you
I don't
see the
know.
Harry
I don't
Sisson
know.
clip
I don't know.
where um, Trump he posted an AI video basically of him wearing a crown, flying a fighter jet, dropping excrement, I think, on Harry Sisson, who's a notable left wing TikToker, and on a bunch
Not.
of different protesters.
I was referring to the riot control stuff, and it's it's always the old saying. I don't know if we can have language on our show, but the mess around and find out saying
Yeah,
of all
FAFO.
these people,
Yeah.
yeah, FAFO, of people getting physical with the riot control, and then they get maced, they get pepper sprayed in the face, and it happens. Or you get tear gassed, or oh, dude, I saw one of a guy getting mowed down by a like a
Those are
one of
funny. Those are funny.
the fire hoses, yeah.
Because there are
But
limits to like peaceful protesting. You can only go so far before it becomes no longer peaceful. Like if you start assaulting law enforcement, that's not really peaceful, is it?
yeah,
I think it's important to
yeah, so
clarify as well that the king of the United Kingdom doesn't actually even have as much power as the president of the United States. So if you think that Trump's a king, he actually has more power as the president. So the king is basically just a figurehead. A king in the old times, you probably wouldn't be allowed to have these protests.
there
So
is only one king.
so this comment says that the Obamas chose to use personal funds rather than the $100,000 allowance that new presidents are given for redecorating. Hmm.
Ah,
But I think it's like I don't know. I think going back to the redecorating a little bit, I think it should just be kept historically accurate. I don't think it just seems like a waste of anyone's money to go in every time and remodel it to for the 4 years that you're there. Okay, it seems kind of silly. And maybe they'll keep
yeah,
the next president will keep the changes that Trump is making, but make it historical and what it was originally before it burnt down.
I don't know. I get that, but anyway, I mean, it's
It's yeah.
inevitable.
Either
The
way, it's
move
not
with
a
the
big deal.
times, you know.
From my very brief research, Obama used tax dollars. Killdozer.
The killdozer.
Oh man. Well, if you
You
use
see,
tax dollars, then he's a scumbag. If you're
yeah.
that's terrible.
I mean, Trump funded, well, aside from his donors, funded the majority of his campaign himself.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, he received at least like I would say
Yeah.
20. I think he received more money this time. I mean, you can fact check me
Yep.
on that, but I know he received hundreds of millions of dollars. He received 100 million from Miriam Adelson, and received more support from Elon. But it was a lot of like campaigning support. Like Elon was really like out there doing town halls, which is
Hmm.
like really arguably more effective than just the financial support for Trump to run ads.
Yep.
But and going back to the No Kings protests, I think it's funny. There was a lot of the prominent people on the left were posting this video that was allegedly from Boston, right? From Boston in October, No Kings protest. Well, the video, all the trees are still green in Boston in fall. The video was actually from 2018 at a non-related protest.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
think I
something
saw the same
that's a big
thing.
one that's been circulating. I
I
mean,
thought it
these
was
people.
2017. Doesn't matter, but
Oh, maybe it was 2017. I mean, they have the right to protest. I don't know. That's whatever. As long as you're not being violent, you have the right to protest, and I think you should have the right to protest. Just
hmm
thoughts on Healy's statements about snap crisis and Trump's involvement. Um, I assume you're talking about Maura Healey, the governor of Massachusetts.
I haven't done
Well,
any. I haven't seen anything on.
we can talk about the
Search it up.
snap crisis. I do have some because this is like the Make America Healthy Again with SNAP in limiting what you can buy with government benefits. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think there are limits to what you should be able to buy with? And I know that there are some limits, but do you think that there should be stricter limits on what you can buy with government benefits in terms of food?
I don't know. It's kind of a. So you're talking about like government benefits in terms of
Like food
like
stamps, for
food
example.
stamps. Yeah. See, on one hand, we live in a free country. On the other hand, if you're being handed the money, I don't know. I guess I guess it depends. I'm sure there's an extreme side of things where yeah, you shouldn't be able to purchase this with it. But in a way it's like I said, we live in a free country.
It's
What are your
hard.
thoughts?
It's hard. You know, I understand we live in a free country, but I think you kind of lose that bit of freedom when you and I are paying for people who
Sure.
are overweight to go out and buy 30 packs of Coke,
Twinkies.
Twinkies, gallons of ice cream.
Sure.
I I've seen so many videos lately of people on social media, and they go like every time they go shopping, they just like vlog their shopping, and at the end they go through how much everything costs. And I see this family picking up like 10 tomahawk steaks. I can't
Yeah, I've seen
afford that. And you're
I've
going
seen
and
a
you're
couple
spending
clips.
$1,200 in EBT or food stamps, whatever you want to call it, to buy tomahawk steaks. You should be
I've seen a
buying
couple of
ground
clips
beef. You
of
should be
these
buying rice,
chicken.
beans,
Yeah, yeah.
chicken. You shouldn't be buying high sugar cereal. You shouldn't be allowed to buy soda. Like there are
I
and this goes hand in hand with the obesity crisis in the United States.
sure.
They're not encouraged at all by the government, and yeah, you can claim freedom, but you're not. It's not your money. You're free to do what you want with your money. When it's me and you who are paying for it, I don't think that you should have the freedom to just buy whatever you want because I can't afford that stuff. I can't afford to go buy tomahawk steaks.
I think there's something that was lost in the government subsidized topic, in the sense that if you are an able-bodied person and you are choosing not to work because the government is giving you money, you shouldn't be entitled to that money. If, like I said, if you're an able-bodied person, go get a job, and if you need assistance, that's one thing. But I've seen clips of people saying they're losing their EBT card, they're losing their food stamps, and they're bragging about how the working class is paying for them and that's how it should be, and they shouldn't have to work for it. They don't want to go get a job. It's it shouldn't just be a handout. It should be a subsidized. Now I get there's people who can't work, whether it be physically or mentally or for whatever reason, but there are so many able-bodied people who are living off the government solely because they can and because they're getting away with it.
I do understand, like, don't get me wrong, I do have some sympathy. Like, if you're really struggling and you have, like, 4 or 5 kids, whatever, any
Sure.
number of kids in
That's
this economy is hard to handle. Like, say you get laid off from your job because really in an economy that's struggling. The job market's tough right now. If you're if you get laid off, like that assistance is supposed to help you and kind of allow you to still provide and get the necessities that you and your family need until you get back on your feet. It's not supposed to create dependency where you're like, okay, well now that I get paid to buy food and whatever else, I'm not gonna get a job again. Now that I'm getting unemployment, I'm not gonna get a job again. What's the point?
there was a point where I was working this is before I started my full-time job. I was working at a particular place, and this was during COVID, and we got shut down temporarily, and the place I was working at made it so I could collect unemployment while the business was closed down. I was making more money on unemployment than I would working, as many hours as I typically did at that company. So like if you're in that position, what is the incentive to go back to work?
Yeah.
And now I went back to work as soon as I could because that's who I am. But it wasn't like it wasn't like, 5% more, 10% more. I was making almost double what I would normally take home in a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was working at a grocery store. I did not. I It was like one of those essential businesses. Stayed open through the whole thing. Worked through the whole thing. Sucked. Had to wear a
Attaboy.
mask all the time. It was so stupid.
But yeah, I think there's
But
there's a
like
point
I do
where
understand. There's not much of an
yeah,
audit when it comes to unemployment. It seems like you can just say that you're unemployed and that you can't get a job and be like, okay, here's free money. And then there
there
was a
just
there
has
was
to
a
be
huge
some
thing
sort
with
of
the COVID
accountability there.
loans too. There were so many members of Congress that took out huge loans under like fake shell company LLCs during the pandemic, just like millions of dollars. And so many of those loans you just didn't have to pay back. So a
So we
bit of
got a comment
comment.
that says
Yeah.
it says I think they should encourage people already struggling to consume food that will benefit their health. Freedom, yes, but they are funded by taxpayers, maybe have limits on the quantity of junk. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I know I said we live in a free country, but yeah, the more I think about it, I guess I'm not paying for someone to keep getting fatter.
And that may be a good idea
You
to
know,
like not say that they can't buy any junk, but really like limit the amount in some way or another, where the majority of food that you're encouraged to buy is healthy, right? And
hmm
the minority of food
but
is
in a way
junk.
that's beneficial to everyone. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're not doing yourself any good by, like you said, buying 20 cases of Coke and high sugar cereals. And I mean, granted, I'd love to feed myself on tomahawks all day, but
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, if you're using food stamps to buy all this junk food, I mean, granted, it is calorie dense, so it's like if you're in a struggling situation, you're maximizing your calories per dollar by buying all this junk food. But like long term, that also puts strain on the healthcare industry, which I assume if you're getting
which
food stamps, the taxpayers are also paying for your healthcare.
we just got a comment about that. Thoughts
Yeah, I
on
saw that. I
healthcare
was thinking
prices
of the
increasing.
healthcare thing before this comment, but this is a good comment. Healthcare
I got
premiums are going insane right now. And this has been a trend over the past few years, but
let me
um,
let me go on a quick rant on
yeah,
healthcare.
go for it.
So, healthcare, well, hold on, let me ask you this first. Do you think healthcare is a right, or do you think healthcare is a privilege?
I don't think that you have a right to a service provided by someone else. Let me put it that way.
Okay. All right, so let me go on my tangent here. I think the healthcare system, while necessary, hospital bills are ridiculous, and I think hospitals set their prices at whatever they want. And I don't think there's any evidence backing up why a certain procedure or why a certain medication, well, maybe medication, but why a certain procedure should cost, you know, a fraction of $1 million
Mm-hmm.
or more. And I think part of the problem is a lot of these hospitals are subsidized by the government. And so it's a never ending loop of, I mean, this could bring me on a tangent to insurance. And I think insurance is another complete and utter scam. But the more you charge, the more you make, the more assistance you get. It's just like it's a never ending loop of the more these medical facilities increase their prices, the better off they are. And you have to factor in the cost of the their costs aren't going up, but their prices are for the most part.
Yeah, I'm sure like their costs are increasing because of materials and whatever, but compared to what people are paying, and I think it's also like I don't know. I can't think of like a good solution for insurance that doesn't involve getting rid of insurance companies. They,
So let me ask you this:
yeah, go for it.
you have medical insurance.
Yeah,
Do you have a deductible?
I'm still under my parents until I'm
Oh, okay.
26.
So let me put it this way: I pay for insurance, and I have a deductible. I think it's $2,000. Unless I, God forbid, have some sort of serious procedure, medical injury, whatever it be, I will never hit that deductible in a year.
Yeah.
So really, my insurance premium is whatever I pay monthly plus my deductible.
Yeah.
And so these insurance companies, for someone like me, are just raking in money and hopefully on my end never have to dish any out. Now that's outweighed by someone who's, has a lifetime medical issue that, hits their deductible in January, in which case those insurance companies get hurt. But I would say the vast majority of people on health insurance don't ever or very rarely take advantage of the health insurance. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, if most of the people on the health insurance are healthy, they're just providing the money for the insurance company so that they can
And
charge the hell
here's
out.
another
But
crazy thing.
that's the thing, though. If I can just jump in,
Yeah, go ahead.
they'll charge. I know there's like the they have mathematicians within the insurance companies that calculate the risk patient by patient, or they might just do like an overall risk calculation, and like patients with pre-existing conditions are likely going to have premiums that are higher than people who are generally healthy, but they'll charge the quote unquote healthy patients, people with no pre-existing conditions, their premiums will be lower than the patients with um, pre-existing conditions, but they'll still charge the unhealthy patients exorbitant amounts of money, and they're just
Hmm.
raking in billions of dollars in profits from the steady payments of people who are healthy and not necessarily using the insurance services. And even when they do want to use the insurance services, it still costs them an arm and a leg. So there needs to be some sort of system that incentivizes being healthy to reduce the burden on everyone in the pool, right? So if you have like a
Sure.
huge pool of people, but it's like it's hard to do that because all these companies, they just want to take profit, and they're looking at you as a number on a piece of paper to say, oh well, you're not healthy, so you're not a good investment for us as an insurance company.
You know what else is crazy? So I don't know if this is a federal thing or a state thing. At least in this particular state, you obviously health insurance isn't mandatory, but if you don't have health insurance, you have to pay a fee for not having health insurance.
Hmm. Be-
And so there's a class of people that don't make enough money to afford health insurance and make enough money to cover the fee. So they're stuck in this weird place where they're making enough to cover the fee, but they can't benefit from health insurance. It's like how can you make something non-mandatory and then charge a fee for not having it, you know?
it really just seems like there's no winning here.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the solution is. I honestly don't think that any country has got it right. And you could make the claim. There's a lot of people make the claim that like socialist healthcare policies, for example, in Canada, have free healthcare, but there's extremely long lines, long wait times. I mean, surgery wait times in the United States are getting longer, but wait times for critical surgeries in Canada could be years out. I mean,
Yeah, I mean
and the
that's
population
another
compared to
issue.
the United States is minuscule.
But I mean hospitals are already severely understaffed. And so the issue you run into is if you make universal healthcare a thing, everyone's going to go to hospitals for the littlest thing, you get a little chest cold or a head cold, suddenly you're going to double your numbers in hospitals. Granted, I know right now hospitals can't deny anyone, but I just feel like if you provide an open invitation, it's going to get even worse.
And it's hard to like kind of de-incentivize people who want to go into the healthcare field that like you won't be making money because we have like a social healthcare program, right? Like we want people
Hmm.
not only who want to go into healthcare because they want to help people, but because you're rewarded for your efforts as a
Sure.
healthcare provider and you're providing a service for someone. But the healthcare industry as a whole, just I think this goes back to what you said about government subsidies. I think the hospitals are just making up prices out of thin air. I in Trump's last administration, I think there was a lot of talk about um, mandating
Holding them
hospitals to
accountable. Yeah.
like show a receipt of everything that you were charged for. I don't actually
Sure.
know what happened to that, but I think that's important because you could be like, okay, show me why this costs this much, right? Show me why it costs whatever $10,000 a day to lay in this hotel bed. You know, what's the
I
exact
mean,
calculation there?
I think one thing that can help is increase the amount that insurance covers, and maybe not amount, but I guess uh, increase the variety of things that insurance covers, and then there that without obviously increasing insurance prices, but there that stops insurance companies from blindly profiting. It also doesn't hurt the people in the sense that, okay, well, I'm paying for this insurance, at least now I can use it, because there's so many things. Like I said, I'm on my own insurance. There's so many things that my insurance doesn't cover, things that, like, in a typical year any normal human would do, maybe I just have terrible insurance, but
I think it's hard to find a good insurance provider in
yeah.
2025, honestly. I think I'm not looking forward to the day when I have to do that unless something drastically changes. But I think an important um, perspective to bring in, or kind of like not a segue, but a different avenue and a different way of looking at this is from the free market perspective, right? The point of the free market is this, so people can evaluate the different companies, and based on the competition, the companies fight to provide the lower price to the consumer, and more consumers go to the company with a lower price, and that forces companies that are charging more to drop their prices. So it's supposed to be a continuous battle for the consumer for the lowest price, but you have government subsidies that bail a company out if they don't meet their margins, and there's no transparency, and people just there's no hope. It's a
No,
hopeless
and
system.
well, the thing is that that seemingly would be the ideal case for anyone, for the business because they'll get more people, and for the consumer because they don't pay as much. But it's the exact opposite. And I'm gonna use gas stations for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any given road you see, you know, in a 5 mile span, let's say five gas stations, and one day one of those gas stations decides to up their price. Now they might lose some business temporarily, but give it a week and you'll see all other four gas stations raise their price to whatever that first one did. And so it becomes a instead of a loop of lowering your prices, getting more business, helping the consumer, it's raising the prices because of corporate greed. In any way you look at it, your business in the long term isn't going to change because it ends up being something. It's I guess supply and demand to some extent. You need it. I know gas is kind of a bad example because most people need gas, and I guess some people don't necessarily need healthcare. But instead of this loop of lowering prices, it's this loop of raising prices.
I think it's an interesting point to bring up though, because I think something with gas stations that is not necessarily true about hospitals and just health services in general is just abundance, right? Like, so if
Yeah,
you're a major city, you have one hospital, maybe two, depending on what city. I mean, I'm sure some of the huge metros have like five, but I
it's a great
think
point.
that hospitals are so corporatized. It's one giant facility. And I think something that's new that's kind of cool is urgent care facilities. And I know that these aren't like one size fits all care, but going there instead of, and that's, I guess that's more on the side of like, instead of going to your doctor, right? Setting up an appointment and having to wait 3 weeks to get something urgent checked out, and it's not as serious as like, I need to go to the ER.
Hmm.
Something like urgent care facilities that could be used like small hospitals that are far more abundant than the giant corporate hospital system that we see now, that create competition within a
Yeah,
community.
but that's something that isn't always covered by insurance,
Well,
right? So
yeah,
that'll
that
go
it
on your
goes back to the I'm not going to cover you for this,
yeah,
which is
yeah, or at
stupid,
least,
but
that's one of those things that I'll use myself an example. It goes on my deductible,
yeah.
which I understand deductibles, they exist, whatever. But unless I'm at an urgent care once a month, my insurance will never benefit me from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it's like your deductible is like incentivizing you to use more of the healthcare service, but you don't
Yeah,
have the bad enough health to use it. So you're forced to give them money regardless, right? So
exactly. Yep.
it's like I guess it's like if you aren't healthy, you're gonna be paying them more than that deductible, and if you are healthy, you're still gonna be paying them that deductible.
Right. And
So it's
then
a win-win for them
they'll
and a
never have to
lose-lose
pay
for
you
you.
for anything.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I think that insurance is a scam.
You pay a lot in the hopes that you don't need the service often, but then when you actually do need the service, you pay more. It's
Yep.
like that's I guess the same as for any insurance, right? Car insurance, home insurance. You
Yeah,
get
and
you
then
get
when you end
screwed
up needing to
regardless.
use that insurance, your premium goes up.
Yeah, you pay I don't know, say $100 a month for car insurance,
Get
and
into an accident,
you get into an
and then
accident. Maybe not even you who caused the accident, right? Your premium still goes up,
yeah, then you're
and
paying two
then you
hundred
gotta
bucks a month.
and now you gotta also buy a new car, even though the other person's insurance may be paying for you to get a new car, your premium still goes up because now you're a risky driver who statistically has a higher risk of causing an accident.
And then there's states that require you to have insurance.
Yeah.
That's not even optional.
Yeah. I mean, where we live, we're required.
Yep.
I think we can. Do you want to move on to another topic?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
So this is something that was kind of in the weeds that I didn't even hear about until I watched some YouTube video. But so in where's this? I don't know if I have the article. I gotta find it. Bear with me for a second here. So rundown. There was a facility in Tennessee, a facility that manufactures bombs for the United States military, that exploded, completely leveled, nothing left.
I
Um,
saw that. Yep.
insane, and I didn't even hear about this on the news like this.
Did you see the before and after picture? I think it might have been in the same article, but
I want to play this video. Hopefully, it doesn't give me an ad. Let's see if I can. Contains upsetting scenes. I think we can handle it. I'd like to hope. Contains distressing scenes.
oh my god.
There's nothing left. There's nothing left. Well, I'll find a before picture after this video is over if they don't show it.
Yeah,
But
no, there was a building there.
yeah, I believe after the final reports. It initially was they thought that 19 people had died, then they dropped it to 18. I believe it's now 16 confirmed dead. Like, there's nothing left of this place. I believe that the shock wave was like tens of miles that people felt it. They felt it tens of miles away, I should say. This is insane. But yeah, that's I'll see if I can find a.
They're still investigating
Oh,
the
okay.
cause. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah. Let me put this back on the. Show you guys. Back on the screen here. You can see this is the before image here. Oh my god, my mouse wheel does not work, but you can see the before image here. This is just from Google Maps, but you can see like here's the same tree line here. Huge warehouse, parking lot. The parking lot here is like there's like nothing left. All these cars are extremely damaged. This warehouse is just leveled. Insane. I can't imagine. If you're like a house down the street, imagine what that was like.
Oh, they probably blew out some windows.
Oh, it must have. I can't imagine that. And prayers to all the families that have people that
Yeah.
um, were lost during that tragedy.
Oh, we had a
That's
comment that said, shook my friends' homes. They live 20 to 30 minutes away. They said they felt and heard it.
that's crazy.
That is, yeah, that's wild. That's terrible.
And this article says no survivors, but it's been updated, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, but weren't the survivors because they weren't at the building?
Yes, so they believe that more people were there than were actually there on this day.
Yeah.
So the company is Accurate Energetic Systems. Obviously, they've suspended operations, but more than 300 state and local first responders had been searching the site since the Friday morning before this happened. Um,
Do you think this was a manufacturing process gone wrong?
it must have been. I guess there's always risk in um, manufacturing bombs, and it says here that there was a previous fatal explosion at a unit in the same location in 2014. So it's not like it's entirely uncommon. But yeah,
It's just terrible though.
it's so sad. I mean, not much more to say about it than that. I just think that's crazy that it's not mainstream. You see what companies go through to provide for the military. Things like this happen. The military doesn't even say anything about it. Not that they necessarily should, right? You're not trying to expose your domestic production facilities, but that's just maybe the president should have addressed it. But what else we got here? Oh, have you? I don't know if you're up to speed on the Trump versus Massey fight.
Probably not as well as you are.
I mean, I'm not necessarily up to speed on everything. I just know that Trump has called for Congress to remove Thomas Massey. He's a congressman in the House of Reps for Kentucky, and Trump's supporting a former Navy SEAL to run against him and saying that he's going to provide the funding for this guy to run against Massey. And Massey's been pretty outspoken against foreign aid and sending money overseas, and he's just, in my opinion, an extremely principled, constitutional. I wouldn't even say he's necessarily Republican. That's just the mold that fits best. Libertarian.
It's the same thing we say about ourselves.
And Trump's claim and his reasoning for hating Massey, not that he necessarily hates him, but all this talk about Massey is that Massey's principled and he's against the MAGA agenda and he won't vote for what Trump wants. And notably, Massey's probably the person in Congress who is pushing the hardest to get the Epstein files released, which I don't think is necessarily a coincidence. I think
no.
And he also opposed the big beautiful bill. He was very opposed to it because he noted that this will increase the deficit and increase the burden on tax-paying Americans, and he's true. Or he's right about that. It's
sorry, I don't mean to get off topic.
Pull it up, but
yeah, pull up that article. But while you're doing that, did you see who is it running for New York who wanted to raise taxes to over 50%?
You talking about Mamdani?
Yeah. Mamdani. It was like I think it was 52 or 54%. Oh, can you imagine?
That.
And I was listening to him.
Race is just a complete crapshoot, man.
I was listening to him try to justify it, and it was just you couldn't help but to laugh.
I know. So I think the biggest. You see a lot of people on the right coming out against Mamdani. I don't agree with any of his socialist policies. Let's just start off with that. I mean, they're just saying like, oh, he's a radical Islamist, you know, like all these like kind of epithets to kind of just like say we don't, the West cannot support this, and I don't think that that's kind of the angle that you should be taking. I think that his policies are just not good for America. But then you have
Mm.
people on the right shifting to support to Cuomo. Cuomo is a fanatical supporter of Israel. So it's like you're. I think honestly, New York
I think
City
it
is just
becomes a
like
lesser
it's
of two
lost at
evils
this
things.
point. Yeah, and probably that's what it is, right? But it's just the lesser of two evils. But honestly, at this point, just let New York fall, see how bad it gets, and maybe that will create some sort of course correction at some point. You know,
Yeah.
and I hope that, and by let New York fall, I mean I don't want anybody to get hurt. I don't want to see any violence, but
Yeah.
at this point, it's like it's already happening there.
You're talking metaphorically.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to see how bad something can get to actually make the politicians care about what's going on. And Mamdani's talking about like state-run grocery stores and trying to solve the out-of-control housing prices. And I think that his aims are correct. I just don't think his methods are.
Mm.
Sorry, I got throat's a little scratchy. So, oh man, dude, it's like I got a piece of pepper in there. Hold on,
Got a little chest pepper.
bear with me, folks. So, Trump is endorsing Ed Galrain to run for the Kentucky's 4th congressional district. And Galrain was quoted saying, "This district is Trump country. The president doesn't need obstacles in Congress. He needs backup. I'll defeat Thomas Massie, stand shoulder to shoulder with President Trump, and deliver the America First results Kentuckians voted for." And then Trump wrote, "I hope Ed gets the guy he's supporting against Massie. I hope Ed gets into the race against Massie, who is now polling at about 9% because the great people of Kentucky are wise to him. He only votes against the Republican Party, making life very easy for the radical left. Unlike lightweight Massie, a totally ineffective loser who has failed us so badly, Captain Ed Galrain is a winner who will not let you down," he added. Now, I
Never
would
been a
make the
man
argument
with
that
never had a way with words.
I know, right? I don't think there's anyone in Congress who is more principled and will stick to the Constitution more than Thomas Massie. You could say Rand Paul, who's a senator. But then Trump goes, and his first presidential endorsement is going to be Lindsey Graham. Like, are you kidding me? Complete warmongering idiot. So, and on Liberty Score, Thomas Massie has a 96% Liberty Score. Whereas, and this so it shows like, I'll just pull up this because I think this is kind of important.
I've never seen this before.
So there's this website, and it shows how someone votes, right? So you can see here, right? Conservative votes 47, liberal votes 2. And I can just read through a couple of these, right? Fund the war in Ukraine through the end of Joe Biden's first term or the $40 billion aid package. Votes no. Support gun control. Votes no. Pass an $800 billion defense spending bill without defunding military vaccine mandates. Votes no. Because Massie is principled. And I believe at that time that he didn't support that because he thinks that, or he thought at the time, that the military should not be mandating the COVID vaccine. So I agree with that vote. Extend chain migration to adult dependents of employment visa holders. Votes no. I don't exactly know what that means. codify same-sex marriage and ban states from supporting traditional marriage. I don't think you should ban states from supporting traditional marriage. The Inflation Reduction Act would cost $700 billion. Yeah, obviously vote no. And these are a little dated, but like this is just like his record. He's been in office since 2015. He's
Can you filter to his liberal votes? I want to see what those were.
Oh.
I don't know if it's categorized.
There's two liberal votes. One of them was for the end federal control of local schools, which he voted yes for, which I guess is considered liberal. And then the other one was repeal authorization for use of military force against Iraq. That's considered liberal because it's liberal to not want to go to war, right? It's conservative to want to go to war.
Is blue liberal, or is that just what a yes looks like?
I think that's. Hold on. Can I click on this? Can I filter?
Go to another page.
I don't know. Maybe you might be right there.
Because that didn't seem very liberal.
That anti-war standing. I think that typically the right wing would be against that, like the typical neocon right wing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he's principled. He's trying to get the Epstein files released. He doesn't want to increase the tax burden on American taxpayers. And I have seen polls after Trump tweeted that he's only polling at 9%. That Massey is polling above this other guy. And outspoken criticism of Israel and what's been going on. Not crazy, but just saying
there it is, right there.
Shouldn't be sending money.
There it is,
really
right there.
Any foreign nation, and then he's supporting the mandatory country of origin labeling and the Prime Act. I want to find out what the Prime Act is before I speak too much about it. Would allow ranchers and farmers to slaughter their livestock at local slaughterhouses instead of driving hours away to USDA-approved slaughterhouses. And that's one of the huge hiccups for ranchers, because it can take years for the USDA to approve you to sell your meat. So if you don't have to be approved by the USDA and you could sell locally within your state, that can alleviate beef shortages and reduce price. And why would if you can, why would you not want to buy from your own state and support your local farmers?
Yeah.
So I think this is just I think Thomas Massey is actually more MAGA in the grand scheme of things than the Trump administration is being right now. I think Massey wants to put the people first. His constituents have in the past loved him, loved the way he votes. That's why he has won the incumbency many times.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that he's going to lose. I think that it's a sign that Trump's saying he's going to raise all this money to get Massey out of office. I think he's one of the most principled members of Congress, and honestly, he could be poised for a run at president after this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's very he's not a scumbag. He lives on an off-grid farm. He's a super
I don't know
cool
much
guy.
about
He's
him.
down to earth. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents. We've gone for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, we can. You want to wrap up?
I don't necessarily want to wrap up, but you got anything else on your mind? I definitely got other stuff in my mind. I just can't remember.
Anything? Let's see.
I want to look through my I always have good.
Anyone in the comments?
Twitter. Nobody's blowing up the comments right now. Just blow up the comments with questions. We're gonna take some super chats for free. I'm gonna crash out. Just kidding. I won't do that, but um, I always find good stuff in my
You like
tweets.
Piers Morgan?
I think Piers Morgan is a crazy rage baiter. I think his show brings on a lot of good people, but I think if this, I don't know if this tweet is what I think it is, but I kind of want to watch this video. Can I play this video?
Yeah, play it.
All right, let's. So this, I'm gonna show a clip of Piers Morgan and Scott Horton, independent researcher and author. I believe he's talking about. Well, we'll let the clip speak for itself. This is something I reposted on Twitter. I was watching another episode with him today. I'm not sure that this is the same one, so just bear with me. Okay, can we see this? Can we see this?
Thank you very much. Just what Rand Paul there was saying about, I guess it all plays to the same thing, that people think in America Donald Trump is behaving like some kind of out-of-control monarch. And you could look at what's happening with the attacks on the Venezuelan boats as part of that, sort of trying to just circumnavigate the normal rules of engagement with these things. You can position all of this stuff there. What is your view of the No Kings protests and the way that Trump is currently conducting his presidency, where there is validity to the idea that he thinks he's just a king and not an elected official?
Well, the protests are just a joke. I mean, that's just liberal Democrat voters whining. But I absolutely stand with Senator Paul and with his father, Dr. Ron Paul, on severe and strict constitutionalism. And that means an end to the world empire. You know, I don't know if you saw this, Pierce, but there's actually an article in Foreign Affairs, which is the journal of the Council on Foreign Relations, the headquarters of the American empire since 1921.
That's Harry Sisson,
they have an
by the
article
way,
this
that
week about how, geez, how did the presidency get so imperial? Well, you need an imperial presidency to rule a world empire, don't you now? If you're going to be the dominant political and military force in all of Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, as well as Latin America, then yeah, you're going to need a pretty powerful president and a National Security Council that can declare any emergency and act with haste to do whatever they want. You listen to Dr. Paul talk about the strikes going on there off the coast of Venezuela, where there's no, as Al Gore would say, there's no controlling legal authority. No one even pretends that anyone can make them stop. The president of the United States, hell, he could launch H-bombs at any city he chooses. There's no one to tell him no. And that's because America is a world empire instead of a limited constitutional republic. And that's why, you know, I regret, I don't mean to like diminish anyone. I just think it's sad how partisan politics makes everyone so stupid. We need to abolish the Federal Reserve System and institute a 100% gold standard. And we need to bring all our troops home from the world. And we need to repeal about 99% of the laws passed since 1900 to save this country. We got people crying about, you know, X cartoons.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, that's just the epitome of where we're at right now. You know, you have the two sides, the left and the right. They're fighting over memes, and I know there was this stuff with and Charlie Kirk's assassination. That was a big thing, right? Like the two sides fighting over who's more violent. I'm like, do you think does this actually accomplish anything? This isn't guiding the country in the direction to make it better for everyone.
No, no, seriously, that is just, oh, you should be fighting over who's the least.
Yeah. Try to be the least violent.
Try to be the least violent, yeah.
And then, I don't know if you heard anything about one of the Epstein victims, Virginia Giuffre. She's now claiming that the former prime minister of Israel, like, raped, sexually assaulted her, and beat her.
Jeez.
You hear anything about that?
I did not. No. This is the first.
This is a news story, but I don't know. This is New York Post article. But I mean, granted, this is alleged, right? And we're never gonna.
We also had a comment.
Hear the full story, but.
We had a comment. Done any digging into digital ID over in the UK?
I know there's been talk about
I
digital
haven't.
ID all over the world, and
They started that in some of the Asian countries, right?
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of this started from, at least in the United States, it started with COVID and talking about digital IDs to find out whether or not you're vaccinated. And then now we
Mhm.
have the United States government propping up Palantir for like biometric technology, and it can just find you anywhere at any time.
Oh yeah, I mean, public cameras that can
I think
scan
that's
you.
just more
Yeah,
invasion of
don't they have?
privacy is not not good.
Don't people get caught? I could be making this up, but in some Asian countries, can't you get caught for like jaywalking
Yeah, they're like
and you get like a
jaywalking
ticket
cameras.
in
I
the
think
mail?
there
Yeah, you
honestly
get like
might
a
be some
ticket
of
in
those
the
in the
mail.
United States as well. There's nothing that angers me more than
It's
a red
crazy.
light camera.
Ugh.
I don't run red lights, like, but you know, there's some that are like, oh, it's close. Or
Yeah.
I guess what's worse is digital speed traps, right? Because the speed trap, there's no police officer required.
There's a set point. Yeah.
There's a set point. I don't know. I guess it varies. So the police department gets money from every ticket, as well as the company who owns the camera gets to collect data for free and get a cut of every single ticket. So, invasion of privacy. I don't think that's constitutional. I'm not consenting
Sure.
for you to take my data, take pictures of me. Well, I guess it's in public, but I don't know. Whatever. That's my gripe with it.
Uh.
I don't know. I don't think we have to talk too much about it. It's a claim. So Ehud Barak is the former prime minister of Israel that she is referencing, and she's been seen in pictures with Prince Andrew. And there's a lot of talk about the royal family, like wanting to take Prince Andrew's estate away or his mansion. I can't. I've seen some stuff about this. He dropped his Duke of York title, and I don't know. There are pictures with him, with Epstein, with his alleged victims, with Virginia Giuffre. It's just like, how deep does this go? I don't know if we'll ever find out, but Thomas Massey
Maybe
wants to release the
100,
files.
100 years from now.
Yeah, everything's been burned. Oh, it sucks, man. What kind of world are we living in? I'm just seeing if I
How
have any
about
other.
the Louvre robbery? Is that how you say that? The French?
Oh, the museum got the Louvre
Yeah.
got robbed. I saw this picture of one of the detectives that was investigating it, and he was wearing like a fedora and he was all dressed up. I'm like, wow, this is like Sherlock Holmes.
Typical Sherlock Holmes, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this can't be real. And then I think he stole like whatever he stole had like thousands of diamonds, I believe.
Oh.
It's like, that's insane. How does that
Was
happen?
the place not guarded?
No, it is. It's got extremely high security. So it had to be someone, probably a team to rob the place. Do a lot of, I don't know, you see those movies, right? The
Yeah, I was going to say, they'll
movies.
make a movie about this in a couple years.
Oh, I retweeted something. I think it's funny that we look at this. I want to show this because it's funny. My retweet here. So, I don't know. I hope the screen can see this, but the tweet I retweeted is President Trump says he's bringing prices down 600, 700, 900%. And then I reposted with a meme. Source, I made it up. It's like, where are these alleged price drops, man? I'm not
Have you seen them?
No. I know the gas, I guess the national average in gas just went below $3 for a while. It's been on the slow decline nationally. It was going up a little bit here for a while. I mean, I live in a more expensive area, but What, like, you're just gaslighting at this point. I don't. And then
Yeah, but
the press
I
secretary
don't know
is
what's
saying
worse.
the same thing.
I don't know what's worse is putting those numbers out there, or the fact that there's probably a large majority of people who look at that and go, "Oh, this is great. He's killing it," and they just blindly believe it. Don't do any research of their own, or don't go out in public and see that gas has not come down 600%.
I mean, I guess if you stayed inside all day, every day, never went out, never bought anything, you might be able to say, yeah, sure, prices have gone down. But if you actually go
Can I
out
wait?
and
Hold on. How can something go down by more than 100%?
so, okay. Wait a second. That's a good point. Are we stupid? Because if something is
If something's
$3
yeah,
and it goes
and it
up
goes
100%, that's $6. Something is
$6.
$6 and goes down 100%, that's 0.
That's 0.
So yes, this makes no sense. I think we can confirm. He's not the most intelligent guy, you know. Take him for what he's worth.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, at least make it realistic. Go like 60%.
Yeah.
I'd look at that and go, that's great. Does it really say over 100%?
So the tweet that is quoting him says he's bringing them down 600, 700, 900%. Oh, so you're paying me back when I'm buying things. That'd be nice. I would appreciate that. Feel like I'm giving an arm and a leg. Oh, I think this is important, right? So, I feel like I talk every episode about the far-right members of the Israeli parliament, right? And how they want to continue the war in Gaza. And here, you might be able to hear that volume. I'm sorry.
Heck yeah.
I haven't played the video yet, but I'm going to play this video. Can I up the quality on this? Whatever. Doesn't matter. So what we got here, this is Itamar Ben-Gvir, the Minister of National Security for the Israeli parliament. Far-right religious extremists.
Is it weird that the language written out, doesn't it look upside down?
Well, yeah, it's read from right to left. I think it's weird. It's just different than what you're used to.
I don't know how to explain it.
I know it.
It looks upside down.
Okay, hold on.
אין שום דבר שעובדה מוגמרת, ולהפך. אנחנו כרגע יכולים, יש לנו כרגע את ההזדמנות, במיוחד היום הזה, לעצור הכל, להגיד, רגע, החטופים ברוך השם אחרים חזרו, זה היה עיקר הטענה למה אנחנו לא ממשיכים את המלחמה, ועכשיו צריך לחזור ללחימה, צריך לחזור.
But, I mean, this guy was raised as an extremist settler in the West Bank. I mean, he's been saying radical things the entire past 2 years, even before that. I mean, he speaks at far-right settler rallies to expand the settlements in the West Bank. Oh, I think something... So, J.D. Vance is currently in Israel, and while he was in Israel, the Knesset voted, I think it was 26 to 24, or maybe it was to 25, they voted to approve the annexation of the West Bank while he was there. And I know a week or two ago, Trump had said that we were not going to allow Israel to annex the West Bank. And then J.D. Vance said that we're not going to let this happen, and that it was a bad move by the Israelis to vote yes on it and approve it at that time. So that's another piece of news to look out for. That's something that kind of under the radar. I know Gaza's a big topic, and I talked about the West Bank last week and probably the week before because I think it's a big topic, just land stealing. But well, we're at almost 2 hours. I mean,
yeah,
my voice is gonna be getting hoarse here.
I think we did good. I mean, we had a consistent, good group of viewers here. Most active we had in chat. This is nice.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, is there anything Well, I guess, is there anything? I mean, maybe drop a comment if there's anything you want us to discuss next week. If something comes up,
Yeah, and if you're in the
drop
chat,
it
if you're
on.
watching, just like this video. I mean, it helps us out. I'm
Yeah,
not asking you to
and
give money, drop comments.
I
Just helps
frequently
us
I'll
out
check
with
the
the
comments.
algorithm. But yeah, we'll check the comments if you guys leave any comments, and we're trying to do our best to look at them while we're actually streaming. But I think I don't want to just like end it like that, you know. I think it's important to. Oh, here we go. Do you think the U.S. will have a return on Israel next presidency?
Maybe.
I don't. Like I said, I don't know if JD's got the
Uh,
support. The right is not unified currently.
I don't know. I think there's still 3 years of this, and who knows where we'll be come the next election.
It is hard to tell. It's early.
Yeah.
Like there are certainly politicians within the United States that not necessarily turn on Israel, but more of just we don't want any foreign influence, which I think is a better way to put it. You know, not giving money to foreign nations, and then you get called an isolationist. It's like no, I actually want to help this country. I don't believe that sending our tax dollars overseas is actually benefiting us long term. I think that it's demoralizing all groups in America. It's demoralizing the youth. People that are our age are like, what is there to even like work for? We're trying
It's
to
just also
strive in a
poor
failing
principle.
nation.
It's just poor principle in the sense that now, I mean, you set up the precedent that anytime a country's struggling, the U.S. is just gonna give them a handout.
I mean, yeah, it's like the food stamps thing, right?
Yeah.
They know that there's a backstop to rely upon.
Oh my God.
Words of inspiration next week. Maybe cover Hitler versus Stalin or Europe. And that's something that would take so long. And we're trying to do current events here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there hope for? I mean, I know in our previous, I'm gonna call it season 1, maybe, of Operation Alpha, we touched on a lot of mostly domestic, but a lot of old, I guess, past events or conspiracies. Yeah, this edition we've been trying to keep it pretty current, and maybe that's just because there's so much going on. I'm sure there's gonna be a lull at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you saw that Russia allegedly released files relating to the JFK assassination to the United States. You see that?
Really? I did not. No.
I mean, what's going to come of that? I don't know. It's got to be all translated by the government and then fed to us as more slop to kind of hold us
Convenient.
over. Redacted.
Yep.
I hope something comes out of it. I don't think we're ever going to find out. I mean, intelligence was involved. I mean, there could be gang-related stuff, foreign influence, multiple shooters, which I definitely believe that he was not shot necessarily from the repository by Lee Harvey Oswald. I don't know. But maybe we'll get back into conspiracies at some point. I think that thumbs down. Compare states' pros and cons. Words of inspiration. There is hope. There's always hope. There's no.
You have to have hope. You can't lose hope.
Our
'Cause that's
generation
when-
is probably the most conservative America First generation overall. I mean, I guess you'd say that there's people our age that are farther left than anyone's ever been, right?
I'd argue that point. I think we're one of the most divided.
Yeah, it's
in terms of. Yeah.
That's probably true. But if anyone is going to fix this country, it's people that are our age. We have the opportunity now.
It has to be.
Really fight for saving this country on behalf of everyone. I mean, for the past, I don't know, 100 years, I guess. Really, I would not 100 years. I'd say the start of the downfall was really like removal of the gold standard. Maybe Vietnam War just starting to get involved overseas and getting involved by doing a false flag and blaming the country and not getting congressional approval to go to war. Discuss Charlie Kirk assassination. Yeah, it's kind of like beating a dead horse now. I mean, there's been so much coverage over it, and I'm not really a fan of, you know, over publicizing it and trying to like make money off of it. You know, not that we're making money from the show, but like.
No, but I think a day will come where we can talk about it.
Yeah, I just think that really you just need to, you know, kind of let it be for now. Yeah, I mean, it's so terrible what happened for all of us to see it live. It's like the worst video I've ever seen. Someone that I grew up watching. Just like kind of my introduction to politics, honestly. He helped me craft a lot of my viewpoints. And granted, towards the end, I was straying with him on some of the foreign policy stuff. And it seems like he was getting a lot of pushback as well. And he was maybe having some conflicting views.
I think he was coming around.
He might have been coming around and been more in line with what I think. But you don't have to agree with him on everything, you know?
No, but his faith at the end of the day was...
Yeah,
second to none.
Yeah, second to none. His faith was unmatched. And I think I don't know who told me this. I think it was, but it's funny, right? So God, Trump talks about Charlie loved God. Charlie loved God. Blah blah blah. His faith in God. It's like Charlie loved Jesus Christ as well. Okay, and I think. The lack of acknowledgement in Christ by Trump is like, I don't think Trump's actually religious or Christian. I think he just uses it to try and... I mean, maybe he's spiritual or something. I don't know. But I think him saying... not acknowledging Jesus Christ, I mean, he could be Jewish. His daughter is Jewish. His son-in-law is Jewish. He basically, like, thanked his son-in-law for converting her, and I know he loves Israel, so not necessarily out of the question, not acknowledging the divinity and existence of Jesus Christ. But yeah, Charlie's faith unmatched, his love for the Lord, and there's certainly a time that we can definitely break it down more. I just think that there's so many people covering it, there's so much information out there. I don't want to just like throw out unsupported beliefs. You know. Yeah.
Once Candace gains some ground, you got something to go off of.
I think she certainly. I think it's gonna drive her crazy, right? If she can't ever actually find out what happened, I think it's just gonna drive her crazy.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean,
I know they were close.
She's got the right idea in her heart, and there's so many questions surrounding it that just seem to not add up, and I just hope that she can get some sort of closure from it.
Yep.
Because that's terrible, man. But like I said, there is hope. Just be strong in your beliefs. Stand up for what you believe in.
Something.
Believe in something.
Yep.
Believe that you can make this country better. Believe in yourself. Stay strong. Don't allow yourself to be bought and paid for. Just because someone is telling you that you're wrong, you might not actually be wrong. You know, actually do the research and
form your own opinions.
Form your own opinions and find grounding for your views. And why do you believe this? And I believe for the longest time, some things that I changed my mind on. You know, I did
question everything.
It's like question everything.
Yeah, no, I think that's like something to live by.
We're the generation that is tasked with uniting and saving this nation from ultimate demise at the current path that we're on. How are we going to do that?
It starts with Operation Alpha.
Yeah, it starts here. We got 12 viewers. You know, that's almost like a classroom full of people. It's a small class full of people.
Yeah.
So if we can just like leave anything with you, just to even think, just not to necessarily take action, right? It's not a call to action.
No, but do your part.
Do your part.
And be informed.
Be an informed American. I mean, and you might not agree with this take, right? But sports are so popular in the country. whatever. I used to be a big fan of sports. It's the American pastime, watching baseball, football, basketball, whatever. And I know people just don't want to get involved in caring about politics at all. It sucks. I mean, bad news every day. But how are you going to save this nation if you have no knowledge of what it takes and what is actually going wrong? You're not formulating any opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a...
And I know you said you weren't going to last week, but make sure you vote.
Yeah, definitely vote.
Unfortunately, sometimes it becomes the lesser of two evils. But
okay, I will say though, there are some cases where, like, it's hard. It can be hard, right? You have two candidates who really don't. Neither of them are stuck with the two-party system. None of them really fall in line with represent your belief system. Then what do you do?
Yeah.
You're just forced to choose the lesser of the two evils. Right? You can vote third party, but that never does anything. Right?
Write yourself in.
Yeah, write yourself in. That's all you can do. At least do something.
Vermin Supreme. Do you know who Vermin Supreme is?
I do, yeah. There's a quote I'm thinking of from... I think it was Socrates. I don't know. It's like, if those who aren't informed are like bound to be ruled by lesser men, something like that. It's like, even if you're just learn a little bit, just keep up a little bit, because these things affect everyone. It affects you. You're wondering, okay, why are these prices rising? You're just like, you just go with the flow. That's how the government controls you, and just you get people that just kind of don't care, and they just like are willing to accept anything. There's no pushback. Question the government. Most of the time, I would say that the government does not have your best interests in mind. There's a lot of self-serving people in government. I think the best way to do, I mean, whether you're on the right or you're on the left, try to vote for people who are principled and aren't gonna change their views for a little bit of money, because there's so much of that. It's
hey, you know what we need?
Terrible. Yeah.
We need an outro song.
We do. Should I play Sweet Home Yerushalayim?
No.
See, I wonder though, right? Like, I wonder what we can actually play.
There's got to be copyright-free stuff out there.
Well, I know there's copyright-free music, but a lot of it sucks.
No, I'm talking about, I don't know, maybe we can find a cover or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll have to do some research on that. I don't want to get any copyright strikes or get our content taken down. I think for now we're just gonna do the. Did I do the breakout? We test the break thing, right?
Oh, we didn't test it, but
We'll just hold on. Bear with me for a second. Look at this. This is gonna be our break.
we were supposed to take an intermission halfway through, but we got lost in the sauce. Yeah.
Anyway, my mic wasn't working through that, but it was a little bit of major action, kind of keep you.
No, it was working. I got you through.
You could hear me because we're in a voice call.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
We gotta.
All right. Well, yeah. I guess we can.
God bless you both in this channel. Cheers, boys. And God bless you, sir. And God bless everybody who's watching this. I mean, this is it's gonna be an adventure. We're not doing this because we want money. Kind of like
we're doing this because it's fun.
This is fun, and I think there's not that many people who actually have the drive to do something, you know, and kind of and try to encourage some sort of change.
And also, I mean, I don't know about you, but it holds me accountable to stay informed.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of a passion for me to stay informed and kind of keep up with things. There was a period of time where I definitely, within like the past couple of years, I kind of took a big break from politics, and
The last year,
excuse
yeah.
me, just wasn't keeping up with stuff, and it's just like felt so lost, you know.
Oh, we did test it while my my camera was messed up.
Oh, true. Yeah.
All right. Well, you want to wrap up?
Yep. One final thing to say: just keep fighting the good fight. Stand strong in your beliefs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
If
you
you're
all.
new here, thanks for glad to be your first. Glad to be welcoming you for your first time. If you're a repeat offender, as they say, welcome back, and we'll see you again next week, hopefully.
Yep. See you next week, Thursdays, 7 p.m. EST.
Catch you guys later. Thanks.